Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the workshop session of the meeting. And I would ask the clerk to please call roll.
Bartlett. Cook. Hannett.
Here.
O'Donnell.
Here.
Ruben DeSellis. Here. Scott.
Here.
Speed.
Here.
Watts.
Here.
Williams.
Here.
Mayor Ezzard.
Here.
City Attorney Beard.
Here. Thank you. The first item is under the mayor's report is an introduction of Mr. Brett Henry. I'm appointing him tonight to the alderman of the Ward 4. So, Brett, you don't have to get up and talk, but many of you may know Brett. I mean, you're more than welcome, but Ben will grab you after the meeting, and then we'll hear about it on the radio tomorrow. So, but yeah, we quite an extensive, lot of good people reached out and were interested in that position. And I just, after talking to a handful of them, and Brett, I felt that he was the appropriate selection person for the job. He's got a steady demeanor and cares about Jacksonville very much. He's invested here as far as, obviously Brittany, his wife, with Convention and Visitors Bureau, and then little Parker, who's not little anymore, but and then many people might know his father, Dan, through the bank, CNB and things. And so I don't know how his mother puts up with Dan, but they're not here right now. So we're happy, like Mayor Tindick used to say, when one of the worst parts of being a mayor, I didn't understand it back when he was telling me, but one of the worst parts of being a mayor is when you have an appointment or a city job. But when you have an appointment and there's good people that are interested and you make one person happy and then the other folks are mad. And I've come to that realization pretty quick in this. So we'll welcome Brett and we'll swear him in at the regular meeting. So.
We can take part in this meeting if he wants to come over.
If you feel free, if you want to come up and sit. I mean, you're more than welcome.
Yeah, in the workshop session,
Yep.
right, you can certainly participate at this
Yep.
stage.
You can ask questions. You can. Yep, you've got it. Okay. Two other items. What was one item? Historically, I mean, it's up to the council. Historically, the meeting on the 14th of March, we take that night off and have it on the Tuesday. It's pancake and sausage, but if people have things going on, we certainly understand. And if we want to keep it on that Monday, that's fine. But is anybody opposed to having it on the Tuesday, the 15th? I mean, if we don't have a quorum, obviously we'll keep it Monday. It's either way. I just wanted to touch base with the council. I mean, but if anybody can't, reach out. We got some time still, but it'd be, so the next meeting would be on March the 15th.
14.
Or
You're right.
You got anything, Dan?
No,
Is that
let me check and see.
okay with you?
I've got someone that can cover if necessary.
Kent? Good? Aaron?
I'm fine.
Okay, so we'll make that public and change the meeting notice, but March 15th. The other one is, I believe, we have the dates of the citywide cleanup, and I believe, oh boy, shouldn't mention this. Citywide cleanup this year is June 9th, 10th, and 11th. June 9th, 10th, and 11th is the citywide cleanup, where you take your things out to the street department.
Are they taking TVs again this year?
That we may ask the council, but I think you're all in favor of that, aren't you, Lori? Taking the TVs.
I am.
Instead of, in front of houses and things. We see enough of those anyway. But yeah, there was a nice TV on Christmas morning on the highway between Lafayette and the old burger boards. So there was a nice big screen TV there. I noticed going out to my in-laws' house. is there one on, I hope it's not, I hope it's not my mom's. Okay, good. I don't know how she'd get it out of the house if it was, but, okay. So what was that other one I had? I know I had another, I'll get it in old business, but, okay, city attorney's report.
Thank you. If you recall, at the last meeting I mentioned briefly, we're working towards the finalization of a short-term rental ordinance to cover the Airbnbs, bed and breakfast, and things like that. We certainly, meaning anticipate that the Plans Commission will follow Brian and I's recommendation that whatever we do with those, it will be in a special use category and whatever zoning classifications we place them in. So they do have to come before the Plans Commission and the City Council for approval, so everyone has a chance to see where they're going and make sure that the appropriate restrictions and so forth are in place. And then the question I had for you was, do you have any issues? We were looking certainly at multifamily housing areas as well as the B2 district downtown on the second floor, which is the only place you can have residential downtown. But the question that you will need to decide, as well as the Plan Commission, we'll talk to them about it Wednesday, is whether you want the Airbnbs and the bed and breakfast and so forth in R1 and R2 categories, which is a single family. A lot of the properties up and down West State have been multifamily. Some of them have been rezoned back to single family. But it's just a question for you to consider. If you have any ideas or any comments now, I'd be happy to hear them. Otherwise, we'll go ahead and take it to Plan Commission, get their input, and then bring it back to you in the form of the ordinance, most likely at the next council meeting. Anybody on that? If not, then the other item I have is the renewal of the animal control program. Again, we've had this in place for quite a long time. The last agreement was in 2010, I believe, kind of expired in 2020, but it just continues on automatically if it's not terminated by one party or the other. In 2020 and in 2021, the rates went up. We went ahead and paid that, but we do need to approve what those are. Rates are based upon the amount of population the city has, and it did just change with the census information that came in following the 2020 census. So that resolution is on the agenda for tonight. Any questions on that?
Yeah, I have a question on it. So is the new one gonna run from 2020 to 2030, like the old one?
Unless, it doesn't necessarily have to run to 2030. At any time, 90 days notice, either side can give notice that they want out of the agreement. So if there should be any conversation with the county that they want to increase the rates, if we don't feel that that's appropriate, we can terminate the agreement at that time.
Well, we paid $46,135 in 2021, which was $2,095 more than we should have been charging.
Yes.
So, are we gonna get credit from them for that, or?
I doubt it. I don't know if, Skip, if you've had any conversations with them, but I have not. If you want us to go back and seek that credit, I think, based upon what they were looking at for expenses and so forth, I think that's the only reason it went up, but I have not had any conversations with them about that.
Well, I mean, if we're adjusting, so the census is every 10 years, correct?
Right. Yes.
And it appears that that's why they ran the other fee for the whole 10 years straight, and then those 2 years they bumped it up, but it was miscalculated.
Yes, as I say, if you would like for us to go back and hold up approving this until we can check with them, and see if they'd give us a credit for that, we can do something like that.
So there wasn't anything that stated the other was for 10 years, it was just that at the census they decided to change it?
No, basically it goes from year to year, but it has always been based upon the population. So when we got word that the population, when they got word the population through the census had changed, is when we said, let's go ahead and put it into this new resolution. Any other questions? That's all I have tonight, Mr. Mayor.
Very good. Committee reports tonight. Finance, IT, and personnel. Who would like to handle that?
I better take that.
Okay, Skip?
I just wanted to bring it to the attention of the council that in April of 2020, we transferred $1 million over to our health fund. We are self-insured. Money goes into that health fund, and we pay all the claims that we get from Health Alliance, that is our healthcare provider. And since April of 2020, we have used up that $1 million. We get reimbursement for any claims that go over 175 or 200,000, I'm not sure. So that claim, we received all that monies, but now we're down to under 200,000 in that account. That'll get us by for a short period of time, but I want to bring that up. When Chairman Cook gets back from vacation, we'll have a council meeting or a committee meeting, finance, to discuss that a little bit further. But we're going to have to inject more money into that account in order to maintain the self-insured part of the health insurance.
Any questions for Skip? Yep.
So the second reading of the appropriations,
Yeah, appropriations, yep.
so that basically means that we expect 10% of the budget.
Well, you'll get your reports, you'll know, a lot of times, lines go over, and it's just kind of a catch-all, the 10%. So, yeah, I don't necessarily think it'll be going to council every time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. Well, I think there's accountability. I mean, I see what's going on. I mean, my department heads try to keep under budget. A lot of times I have to say, don't worry about it. I mean, if you go over, you go over a little. I mean, it's like overtime, you never know.
$4 million, almost $5 million.
Yeah.
My second thing was I had some people in the community reach out to local businesses that we don't, we listen by and locally. And I was wondering, next year when we do the budget, could the finance committee actually have a meeting or bring us all in where we all are involved in the budget
That'll,
instead of just three people making the decision?
we'll get with Alderman Cook when he comes back, since he's chairman. Well, we tell, if there's ever any questions, you can come to us. I mean,
Well, it's not as easy said as done if we all work as a team and work on the budget and ask our questions in front of everybody.
we can, yeah, I'll talk to Don about that. Yeah.
I don't know what most cities do, cities would like to do a lot better.
Yeah, I don't know I'll just have to talk to Don and see how he wants to handle it. Okay. Any other questions on finance, IT, and personnel? Other committee reports. Item of good news, Parks and Lakes, Alderman Large, Old Meadow.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We have one item, discuss accepting the Illinois Department of Natural Resources Lake Jacksonville Recreational Trail Program Grant. So pretty exciting. City of Jacksonville is going to be receiving $200,000 to put in the bridge at Lake Jacksonville on the west side. City's portion's $50,000. If anybody has any questions, Greg is here to answer yes and no questions. Just kidding. But this is something that the city, through discussions and committees, this is something the community has been wanting for a long time, is more recreational opportunities. So to get $200,000 to give us access to the west side of the bridge and potentially getting some future paths on that south side even, I think it's pretty amazing. So, any questions for Greg? Greg, anything you want to add?
Yeah, we went out for this grant a couple of years ago, and didn't get it the first couple times. So we kept plugging away at it. Like Lori said, we thought this was a good recreational it'll be neat. It'll be for pedestrian. It's not for golf carts. You won't be able to get a golf cart across to the other side of the lake. It's for biking and walking, with bollards, right, Greg? Bollards. But, you know, it'll be a good look. I know there was concern a couple years ago with some citizens that live on the other side of the lake. Our area where we would take the bridge would be considerably a long way from their house. Now, if we want to expand upwards years down the line, that's another story, but just getting across the lake on the bridge, Brett estimated it's 100, 200 yards from the you know, the closest house, so.
And Brett,
Yeah.
I didn't see you back there. You're also wanting to expand some fishing areas just on that side of the bridge as well. So that's another opportunity for us. Plus, we're getting ready to do some work actually on the spillway. So we're investing a lot in this section of the lake to really bring it up, so.
And now the downer part of this was done 3 years ago, correct, Greg? I mean, the estimates and things? Okay. So 2 years later, and when Lori said the city will be on the hook for, it's actually $52,500, that price tag might move up. And as a council, we'll do everything to keep it as low as we can, but if we want to do it the right way, I feel that this is an appropriate, the funding-wise, we've got the money, or we can use federal ARPA money towards something like this that would qualify. Obviously, you guys know that we were awarded $2.5 million. And if the price tag goes up a little bit, I think we could tap some of that money. And that brings me to a whole nother thing, since we're backing up for, you know, if you have anything that is close to you as far as ARPA funding that you'd like to see, like a project or something, just email me. I've reached out to my department heads, and they put their thoughts together on that. Now I'd like to reach out to the aldermen and kind of make a big list and things like that. I mean, there's anything goes basically now, besides litigation and rainy. You can't put it in your rainy day. You can't litigation, and there's a number 3, pensions. Yeah, pensions. Can't put it towards pensions. So, you know, I know that the utilities has a ton of projects coming, and you know, I think it would be appropriate to take some of that money to give to utilities to do some of these projects, because that keeps the bottom line down as far as our water and sewer bills. Because we are eventually going to have to make, not necessarily I like the water bit, when we did the water plant, because we did that real big pop right at once, and it worked out. But you know, since we're having a phased approach with our sewer plant, it makes sense that we kind of try to keep the rates down as much as we can till we start those phasing. So yeah.
Would it be appropriate maybe for us to have a meeting just to kind of brainstorm and get some
Sure.
ideas on the table and kind of bounce ideas off one another? And is that something special
Yeah,
studies or could do, or just a
it's
committee?
It's fine. I mean, and it gets to Kent's point. I mean, it's being a finance. I think it's finance, IT, and personnel. But I mean, we can send it to special studies. But there's so many things we need. I mean, we've heard, you know, like the folks that come in here from Forest Park. We know that's deteriorating, that subdivision of the roads there. And I don't even want to drive on them right now. Alderman Watts asked me about that, and I'm afraid to drive on the roads myself to see what condition, because now all of a sudden all the roads are in tough condition because of the thaw in the winter and the salt and the warm up and things. But yeah, that makes sense, because I mean, I like I mean, if you want to have a meeting, we can do that, or we can send emails and then have a meeting.
Well,
kind of put them all on a list.
I'm just wondering if,
Yeah, I mean,
say you've got earmarked 2 million, maybe the council could brainstorm on something for 500,000, that's,
oh, I think there's,
you know what I mean?
Definitely.
So
I-
if you've
'cause
already
you-
got 2 million earmarked for something, let us maybe brainstorm
I
ideas.
love it. I think, I mean, I don't know if you feel this way. I kind of feel, you know, when you ship money to the utilities, you know that that's needed, but you need to make a splash once in a while with a project that the community can see. They can't really see the water and the sewer lines and things. However, they can see a project similar like, you know, a trail or I'm not saying this, but like a dog park. I
Right.
mean, we made a big splash with the dog park, and it's used. But with Adam and Greg here, you know, we're getting ready to ramp up the Nichols Park Municipal Pool. Maybe we add a little bit more money towards that pool to get it really, really nice. Those are questions, but just kind of think it
Can-
over if you would.
So can we have a when do you
Yeah,
have, let's try to get something on the table so we can meet and start.
I'm hamstrung because Don's not here, but I mean, I can,
We'll invite him to the meeting.
well, yeah. If we want to do it before next meeting, or we can do it on an off night, I don't really want to set it right now, but, because I don't know, but, well, I think there's, does that sound all right, everybody? Yep. Okay. I just wish we got the county share instead of the city share. The county got 6.5 million, and we got 2.5. I just, pretty much, the new health facility, county health department, a lot of work in the courthouse as far as a lot of HVAC, windows, a lot of pricey items the jail, Morgan County Jail will get a chunk of that money. They hired a consultant to help them, so Lori, you're our consultant. Okay? All right. Okay, where were we? So, Planning and Public Works, Alderman Scott.
We have 5 items. The first being discuss amending resolution number 2021 R130, authorizing waiver of advertisement for bids and accepting proposal for emergency structural repairs at 234 West State Street. That was an increase of about $10,000 from the original for repairs that had to be done once they got down to it and could see what they had to deal with there. Any questions on that?
Okay.
Second is discuss waiving bids and accepting proposal for a new lawnmower for the Jacksonville City Hall and Plaza Maintenance Department. And that low quote was from Henry Service Center for $11,919. Any questions on that? Third is discuss waiving bids and accepting proposal for a new truck for the City Hall and Plaza Maintenance Department. That truck was $39,865 from Morrow Brothers. Any questions on that? Yep.
I would like to say, I tried here in town, the Chevrolet dealership laughed at me. They said they couldn't get any new trucks, and then the Westtown Ford said they were gonna give me a price, and then they called back and said they couldn't order any for the rest of the entire year. So
Right.
that's why I went on to the state contract.
Okay.
Fourth item is discuss waiving bids and accepting proposal for the Vehicle for Community Development Department. That was was that a plug-in?
That's what the numbers are.
That the numbers for a plug-in Explorer.
Okay. We're going.
And next is discuss grant applications for electric vehicle charging stations.
Yeah, basically just asking permission to apply for grant for electric vehicle charging stations. Go to the higher level and then maybe charging stations. 80 municipal lots, area level if you're looking to. So I just wanted to get permission for that.
Very good. Yep. Okay. Thanks, Aaron. Next up is utility, Alderman Watts.
We have 5 items tonight. The first is discuss waiving bids and accepting proposal for a new lawnmower for the wastewater treatment plant. And Rick got some bids on that. The low bid was from Henry Service Center for $10,419. Is there anything else to add to that? Okay. Any questions? Number 2 is discuss amendment number 1 for the Morton Avenue, Finley, and Prospect Street water main replacement projects. We discussed that a little bit last week. I don't know if Adam, if you want to share anything else about it.
Yeah, I can give a recap from last time if you like.
Okay.
All the 2 items after that.
Yeah, we'll just keep going.
Knock 'em
Keep,
out.
yeah.
Unless you want to make me more back and forth.
Yeah, get your steps in.
So, what we have is, for your consideration tonight, is an amendment to the original agreement that we had for the Morton Avenue Water Main Replacement Project. This agreement was from, last year, and the date on it here. And that project, the bidding and construction of it has been pushed back. Material prices and availability were very unfavorable for a while. And then we also had, been working with Ricky, on Finley and Prospect, 2 other streets that have water main replacement projects that are necessary due to, small diameter water mains, essentially water services that are serving as water mains, there's some lead services along there. And so, the plan is to combine those 2 projects into one for bidding and construction in the future, or later this year, hopefully. And so we put a amendment to the agreement together, to add the field survey and plan specifications for Finley and Prospect to the original Morton Avenue agreement. That was in the amount of, an additional $5,200 for task A, which is field survey. Plan specifications was, $32,000. And then task C, assistance during the bidding process, and task B, construction phase services, would encompass the Morton Avenue as well as the Finley and Prospect, combine them together. The bidding process was $6,500, and construction phase services was $39,000. The total amendment to the agreement would be a not to exceed of $82,700.
Okay. The third item is discuss engineering agreement for the Lake Jacksonville Dam Spillway Rehabilitation Project.
Okay. So this is an engineering proposal for field survey and plan specifications for, repairs and rebuilding portions of the Lake Jacksonville spillway. We discussed some of it last time. Brett's been out there looking at what needs to be done to clear it out for, get survey crews in there, and so approved tonight. We have, tasks A and B, to consider tonight, which task A is field
Okay, the fourth one is discuss engineering agreement for the Northwest Sanitary Sewer Rehabilitation Study.
Okay. So this one is Northwest Sewer System. There's some issues over there where we have some residences that are getting backups into their basements. Some people are having to install some valves on their sewers that when it rains, they have to close them. Deep water can come back in, but then they can't keep feeding into their sewers at that time when that happens. So we have identified the problem areas, and this would be the next step moving forward in order to get the data that we need. It would include survey, field survey, manholes, drainage structures in that area there, approximately 75 to 100 locations. And then that would be task A. Task B with the hydraulic modeling and alternatives analysis for solutions to the problem there. And so at this time, we are bringing forth task A and B. A in the lump sum amount of $21,000 and B, task B, $23,000 for a lump sum of $44,000 total for task A and B to move forward with those things in that process.
Question. What neighborhoods, like Northwest Sanitary, where?
It is, I don't know if you have a packet in front of you.
Should be the Greenbrier area, because I lived in one of those houses with a shut-off valve.
Yeah, Greenbrier, Highlander Heights
Yeah,
area.
it was terrible 25 years ago.
Yes, it's been that way a while, and essentially, if you go north of Mound, all the way, and over east to, about Grand Avenue, and then go north all the way to the railroad tracks, as a general area down through there. There's some specific problem areas where there's more issues than others that you're aware of, and there's I think probably some different factors over the years have added to it, but it's become more of a problem in the recent past, so it's time to move forward with something to figure out how to resolve it.
Thank you, Adam.
Thank you.
The last item tonight is discuss quote for a water distribution truck. Rick's gonna tell us about that.
Thank you. Any public comment at this time? Any public comment? Seeing none. Adjourn. Need a motion to adjourn. Do I need motions to adjourn? Alderman Ruben DeSellis, second by Alderman Speed. We are adjourned to workshop session. Okay, we'll call this council meeting, and if I would ask everyone to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, And I would ask the clerk to please call roll.
Bartlett. Cook. Hannett.
Here.
O'Donnell.
Here.
Ruben DeSellis.
Here.
Scott.
Here.
Speed.
Here.
Watts.
Here.
Williams.
Here.
Mayor Ezard.
Here.
City Attorney Beard. You have a quorum.
Okay, at this time, we'll swear Mr. Henry in. So, wait, let Skip go down. We welcome his family, Parker and Dan and Mrs. Henry. I'm not on a first-name basis with her yet, but no. I know Dan and Parker. So Brett?
Brett, if you raise your right hand and repeat after me, please. I, Brett Henry,
I, Brett Henry,
having been appointed Alderman for Ward 4
having been appointed Alderman for Ward 4
of the City of Jacksonville, Illinois,
of the City of Jacksonville, Illinois,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of Alderman,
of the office of Alderman,
Ward 4 to the best of my ability.
Ward 4, to the best of my ability.
Congratulations, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Man, he's already got a, look at that, how'd that happen? Skip, that's good work.
We can put in our request now.
Man,
Can you get our pothole fixed? Your phone's gonna go down.
okay. I would ask the clerk to please call roll.
Bartlett. Cook. Henry.
Here.
Hannett.
Here.
O'Donnell.
Here.
Ruben DeSellis.
Here.
Scott.
Here.
Speed.
Here.
Watts.
Here.
Williams.
Here.
Mayor Ezard.
Here.
City Attorney Beard.
Here.
You still have a quorum.
Very good. Okay. We welcome Brett. So we already talked about him, Henry family, so you guys missed out. So. Is there a motion of the minutes of the January 24th and the February 14th? Alderman Large, Oldmiddle, second by Alderman Watts. All those in favor of approving the minutes, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Is there any petitions tonight? And communications? And no claims, correct?
Claims were in the hands of
Were in
the
the hand.
Alderman. We do need a motion and a second.
Okay, is there a motion to pay claims? Alderman Ruben DeSellis, second by Alderman Speed. All those in favor of paying claims, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Mayor's report, last month, or last meeting, I proclaimed it Black History Month, the month of February. So we did that last time. And also, I believe we need the appointment of Brandy Belford to the Commission on Disabilities and Human Relations, term to expire October 30th, 2024. Is there a motion for Brandy? Alderman Watts, second by Alderman Large Oldnettle. All those in favor of appointing Brandy Belford to the commission, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Very good. City Attorney's report.
Thank you. I have a resolution authorizing renewal of the agreement with Morgan County for animal control.
Is there a motion for this resolution? Alderman Scott, second by Alderman Williams.
Be it resolved that the revised payment schedule for 2020 and 2021 is approved, and that the agreement for the combined animal control program with the city and the Board of Commissioners of Morgan County is hereby approved.
Any discussion?
I I was unaware of what Kent was talking about earlier, so, and then Dan, I think you said something, if we wanted to try to recover, was it $4,000 that we overpaid, then we should table it? I'm just trying
No,
to.
if you, as I understand it, and Skip, you can help me out here, about 2 years ago, they had increased the price to us, and we just went ahead and paid that. I'm gonna,
It didn't go to the council at the time, we just went ahead and paid the increase in the price based on the 2010 census, and that was it, and when we got the new 2020 census, we didn't get it until the first of this year, and that's when we got the decrease in the population, and therefore the decrease in the total amount.
They didn't do this on their own, though. I copied the state.
Yes.
And
Right.
then they adjusted it for this year.
Yes.
yes, yes.
So the other 2 years, I feel that they still owe us the $4,000.
And that's fine, we'll go back and talk to them and see if we can get a credit against that. If so, then a motion to table would be appropriate.
I would make a motion to table.
I would second.
Okay, there's a motion made to table by Alderman Large Old Meadows, second by Alderman Hannett. And now we will call roll on
Motion to table.
motion to table. So yes vote would say table. And we will try, I guess appropriate, talk to the commissioners.
And we'll
and
talk
see
to
if we-
commissioners and see if they won't just give us an adjustment
Yep.
going forward for that amount.
Yep. Okay, so I would ask the clerk to please call roll on the table motion.
Henry?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Here, yes.
You're
Hannah?
gonna get there, don't worry.
Yes.
Odena?
Yes.
Ruben DeSalis?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Speed?
Yes.
Watts?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Very good. So we'll be back. Okay, any others, Dan?
That's all that I have
Okay,
tonight, Mr. Mayor.
city clerk's report?
The items that you had in your folder from 2 weeks ago are still out there, so they haven't changed.
Okay. Okay, any public comment at this time? No public comment? Okay. Consent agenda items tonight. Finance, IT, and personnel, and, Lori, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We have 3 items. The first is City Treasurer's Report, January 31, 2020. Number 2, resolution authorizing payments for the Capital Improvement Fund for certain improvement projects. And 3, resolution authorizing payments from the General Fund for services rendered.
And planning and public works, Alderman Scott.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We have one item tonight, a resolution amending resolution number 2021R-130, resolution authorizing waiver of advertisement for bids and accepting proposal for emergency structural repairs to property adjacent to 234 West State Street.
Okay, and utility, Alderman Watts.
We have 6 items tonight. And the first is resolution authorizing payments from the Water Works and Sewage Project Fund for services rendered improvement projects. Number 2, resolution authorizing waiver of bids and accepting proposal for the purchase of a lawnmower for the wastewater treatment plant. Number 3 is resolution approving engineering agreement for the Lake Jacksonville Dam Spillway Rehabilitation Project. Number 4, resolution approving engineering agreement for the Northwest Sanitary Sewer Rehabilitation Study. Number 5, resolution approving amendment number 1 for the Morton Avenue, Finley, and Prospect Street water main replacement projects. And number 6, resolution authorizing waiver of bids and accepting proposal for the purchase of a water distribution truck.
Okay, you've heard the items under the consent agenda this evening. Is there any you wish to pull for further discussion to committee reports? Seeing none, I would ask the clerk to please call roll on the consent agenda.
Need a motion?
Oh, motion.
I make a motion.
All right, thanks, Mary. Second by Alderman Scott. Watson Scott. And I would ask the clerk to please call roll.
I'll give you a break, Brett. We'll start at the bottom and go up.
Okay, that's what I gotta say.
Williams? Watts?
Yes.
Speed? Scott?
Yes.
Ruben DeSellis? Odenettle? Hannet?
Yes.
Henry? Motion passes.
Okay, committee reports tonight. Finance, IT, and Personnel, Alderman Large Oldnettle.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We have two items, resolution adopting the 2022 operating budget.
And is there a motion? Alderman Scott, second by Alderman Large Oldnettle.
Be it resolved that the 2022 operating budget for the city of Jacksonville is hereby approved.
Discussion? I would ask the clerk to please call roll.
Williams?
Yes.
Watts?
Yes.
Speed?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Ruben DeSellis? Odenettle?
Yes.
Hannet?
No.
Henry? Motion passes.
Okay.
Our second item this evening is second reading of an ordinance making appropriations for corporate purposes for fiscal year 2022 for the city of Jacksonville, Morgan County, Illinois.
And is there a motion? Alderman Scott, second by Alderman Large Oldnettle.
Be it ordained that the appropriations for the corporate purposes for the fiscal year 2022 for the city of Jacksonville running January 1, 2022 through December 31st, 2022, in the amount of $46,028,153.78 is hereby approved.
Any discussion? I would ask the clerk to please call roll.
Williams?
Yes.
Watts?
Yes.
Speed?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Ruben DeSellis? Odenettle?
Yes.
Hannet?
No.
Henry? Motion passes.
Okay, Parks and Lakes, Alderman Large Oldnettle.
Thank you. We have one item this evening, resolution accepting the Illinois Department of Natural Resources Lake Jacksonville Recreational Trails Program Grant.
So moved. Is there a second? Alderman Hannet?
Be it resolved that the city of Jacksonville does hereby accept the Illinois Department of Natural Resources Recreational Trails Program grant for Lake Jacksonville.
Any discussion? It's a real neat opportunity, and we're looking forward to it. I would ask the clerk to please call roll.
Williams?
Yes.
Watts?
Yes.
Speed?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Ruben DeSellis? Odenettle?
Yes.
Henry? Hannet?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Very good. Planning and Public Works tonight, Alderman Scott.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We have three items. The first one is resolution authorizing waiver of advertisement for bids and accepting proposal for the purchase of a lawnmower for the City Hall and Plaza Maintenance Department. And I so move.
Is there a second on the lawnmower this evening? Alderman Williams?
Be it resolved that the city council does hereby waive advertisement for bids and accept the proposal for the purchase of a lawnmower for the City Hall and the Plaza Maintenance Department on the proposal of Henry Service Center, $11,919.
Any discussion? I would ask the clerk to please call roll.
Hannet?
Yes.
Henry? Odenettle?
Yes.
Ruben DeSellis? Scott?
Yes.
Speed? Watts?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Second item is a resolution authorizing waiver of advertisement for bids and accepting proposal for the purchase of a 2022 Ford pickup truck for the Jacksonville City Hall and Plaza Maintenance Department. And I so move.
Discussion?
Second.
Or second? Alderman Williams?
Be Be it resolved that advertising for bids is hereby waived, and the city council approves the purchase from Morrow Brothers Ford of the truck in the amount of $39,865 for the City Hall and Plaza Maintenance Department.
Okay. Any discussion?
I have one question. Terry, is this gonna replace your truck?
What we're doing is I'm gonna take the brand new truck, and then the truck that I presently drive right now, we're gonna install a dump bed in it, and Brian's, guys that go out and mow the lots in the summertime, they're gonna use it all during the summertime, and then next fall, we'll put snowplow on it, and then that'll give me 2 vehicles to be able to push snow in the parking lots. So basically, what we're doing is we're taking 2 departments and buying 1 truck, instead of both of us buying trucks.
Thank you.
Good question. Any other discussion? I would ask the clerk to please call roll.
Hannett,
Yes.
Henry. O'Donnell.
Yes.
Ruben DeSellis. Scott,
Yes.
Speed, Watts,
Yes.
Williams. Motion passes.
Our third item tonight is resolution authorizing waiver of advertisement for bids and accepting proposal for the purchase of a Ford Escape for the Community Development Department. And I so move.
Is there a second? Alderman Ruben DeSellis.
Be it resolved that advertising for bids is hereby waived, and the proposal from Westtown Ford for the purchase of a 2022 Ford Escape in the amount of $30,482 for the use of the Community Development Department is hereby approved.
Any discussion? I would ask the clerk to please call roll.
Williams. Watts,
Yes.
Speed. Scott,
Yes.
Ruben DeSellis. O'Donnell,
Yes.
Henry. Hannett.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Very good. Any old business this evening? Any new business besides me? I've got, you'll see in your packet, and I believe she sent an email, Illinois Main Street, it's a strategic planning visit. You probably have it in your packet, and you received an email. There's some questions that Judy would like the council to, if you want to give your input, feel free. It's pretty self-explanatory. These things always get me, these codes, but I guess I'm getting old. Yeah. The other one, I know that I've been in correspondence with Alderman Ruben DeSellis. You may have noticed that part of the capital improvement this year, historically, the street department, unless this guy, they budget $30,000 a year for sidewalks, and he increased that up to $100,000 because we all hear it. About conditions of sidewalks, so we increased that line, and we are going to, I believe the next meeting, Les will have a more formal, we're gonna go out for bid on this his guys can't do all that all the time, so we're gonna go out for bid from a contractor to come in and knock out some sidewalks and get new ones. And that brings up a whole nother question there again, what we talked about earlier. 100,000, it's pretty significant increase from 30, but when you go out for bid and you get another contractor, then you pay prevailing wage. So it's not as attractive. However, there again, when we brainstorm on ARPA, if we felt that we want to even increase it to whatever number, I think that's appropriate use for ARPA. So just think that over. But thanks to Alderman Ruben DeSales to keep me on point on this, and we'll tackle it. We'll get as much as we can. Do you have anything to add, Alderman? Yep. Okay. Yeah, Kent?
This is one of those examples I think would have been nice if we could all sat down with the budget and discussed it. But what would the council's thought be? The prevailing wage is gonna kill us on this, is what I've been told. So we're not gonna get much work for the 100,000. What if we hired a concrete finisher to work for less full-time, you know, a concrete guy, and the city just had one? I think we got enough sidewalks so that we could probably keep a guy pretty busy all year long. And then maybe he could get some temporary help to, next year, to put him through, and then let him have a lot of money to buy concrete and start knocking out.
I know it, and I certainly understand your point, and if that's the move the council would like to make, I know through attrition over the years, we have not replaced staff a lot of times. I know Terry's down, employee, and Terry'd like another employee. Obviously, as we expand the downtown, you know, there's a lot more to do. You know, now all of a sudden he's got east, and he's eventually gonna have west, and then we're gonna go a little bit south, and, but I know there's more manpower than just a finisher. There's the guys that have to form and all that stuff, but, and then when you take that crew, then they're not doing something that they should be doing, unless it's kinda, you know, with 9 guys, it's difficult, cause you know, sidewalks are pretty tedious work, forming and digging and things, but no, give that some thought. That, you know.
I think we got the sidewalks, I mean, I think we got enough work to keep somebody pretty busy. I know your neighborhood, you say they're bad, I know my neighborhood's all bad.
I guess my opinion is it's just been hard to hire people who are willing to commit to that, but if we open it up, maybe, you know, if everybody agrees, giving some more other funds, we might be able to go to the department of real estate contractors who are willing to come in.
Yeah, but we're not gonna get the square footage of the sidewalk that we're gonna be able to lay with 100,000. Using
Kill it.
prevailing wage, it's gonna be substantially less than if we did it ourselves.
Yeah, this is a long-term project, that's for sure, and maybe less, the guy.
He's not here, I would like to.
How many people we need.
Right. I mean, I think what Kent, I'm not speaking for you, but like with prevailing wage, it's like I said, 30,000 is usually what we budget. With prevailing wage, even though it's 100, it still knocks it, like we increased it to 60. I mean, that's gonna be the difference in money, so.
Prevailing wage costs more, but you're also paying guys that do this for a living.
Right.
And they will get a lot more done in a day's time than guys that don't do this for a living. So it's not a total washout, this costs much, so they're not gonna get everything done. You could get more done without prevailing wage, but I think it's gonna be a lot closer.
Well, that was just explaining to me that I was told that we can't get anybody but a committee. That was explaining these skills, why we have this. And I think the 30,000 that we've been using every year is just for the city budget for concrete.
Right.
We use it all.
Back when we had the plan before, they bid it out before, it bid out a few times, the same contractor got it each time, and then they couldn't really do all the work that needed to be done. They did other work too, and so it just kind of died on the vine without any bidders coming in. So that's when they took it over themselves.
If we had a full-time employee in the summertime, he could focus on this, and then we could get some part-time people, hire some part-timers for summer to work with him to do what they can get done all summer, and then he can help us during the snow routes and stuff like that, you know, in the off-season.
Something to talk about.
To better, use of our money.
Well, what I'll do is I'll speak with Les and get his thoughts. I'm sure Les will not turn down something.
We can put $1 million out there, but if nobody bids on it,
Exactly.
it's not gonna get some sidewalks.
I don't think they'll probably do it.
Tell me that if you did this.
Yeah, that's been.
I'd be shocked if you put this out for bid.
something to think about. Mr. Large, would you like, you had something for us?
Is it my turn?
Brian, well, you've been waiting patiently.
I would like to, Mayor. Thanks for the opportunity. I'm going to try to make this as short as possible, which is incredibly difficult for me. But I've been here my whole life. Most all of you here know me, and I love Jacksonville. My family goes back to the mid-1800s here in Morgan County, within the Jacksonville vicinity. I've got skin in the game. I'm concerned about what I see, and of course, winter's always bad. Just the general deterioration of our community. The trash that's left out, that's not picked up, the furniture the junk furniture on the boulevards, on and on, the empty houses, on and on and on. I think a lot of you know the issues. I had the opportunity to go with Brian Nyberg and Alderman Odenettle a couple of weeks ago, and I know that Alderman Odenettle is concerned about the main thoroughfares, where people that come to our community trying to consider living here permanently usually enter it. And after we had accumulated 2 pages of vacant property that wasn't being cared for, it seems overwhelming. If any of you would just get in your car some afternoon, spend 2 hours on a Sunday afternoon driving around, you absolutely cannot believe it. And we all know there are certain areas. Point being, I've never been one to tell other people what they should do. I am willing to help in any capacity, and I've told Brian Nyberg that. I would like to suggest to you, and we all know that there's a number of issues. We know that landlords are an issue. We know that renters are an issue. And we know that owners sometimes don't see what we perceive to be the obvious. I would like to help put together more teeth in the ordinance. It takes so much time to get anything done. It's overwhelming. I don't know how anybody can do this. You write a letter and wait 2 or 3 weeks to have them pick a mattress up off of a sidewalk. That's our sidewalk. That's not theirs, it's ours. I walk my dog on this sidewalk and have to walk around a mattress that's been laying there for 2 months. And even internally, we have a problem with it, because I know that Brian's department has sent a letter to another city department asking them to go by and pick this trash up. The first letter went out January, late January, and I know we've had some snow, but then it went out again 12 days ago, and the mattress is still laying there with all the trash. We're not even supporting each other in cleaning it up. So I would like to spend some time with you. I'd like to form a committee. I think I have some idea of people who are passionate about this, who want to try to figure out how we can work it. We're going to have to work with Dan. We're going to have to work with the departments. But I think we can put something together that we don't have to wait 6 months to get somebody to pick up trash alongside their house. I think we can do it. I would like to volunteer to do that. And I would like to talk to you about it at your earliest convenience. And I would like for all of us to address it, because I think it's a serious issue for our town. Thank you for listening.
Thanks, Bob. Yep. Brian, do you have any? I mean, I know you.
Yeah, hats off to Bob for wanting
Yep.
to pitch in and help us all. Actually, I did have some new business.
Uh-oh. I opened the gate.
It's not on the agenda.
That's good.
But you may remember that we got a grant for $55,000 from IDA. I am asking permission to take that $55,000 to put into the land bank, to fund it for more work with the vacant and abandoned properties through the land bank. So it's not on the agenda, so you can't vote on it, but I'm gonna try to get it on for next meeting, and anybody have any questions or concerns, or? It was a grant that I applied for from the Illinois Housing Development Authority, and hoping to get more in the future. All right, thanks.
Yeah, and we'll meet Bob. And I think we all share Bob's concern. You know, being born and raised here, you know, circumstance, growing up, there's different neighborhoods that, you know, 40 years ago were different than they look now. And that's kind of, you know, folks don't have the money to keep their house kept up or painted or things like that, and it's frustrating. But the trash thing, we can help with that. We actually met last Friday, Bob, Brian, and Les and I, and you know, trying to figure out how we can streamline that, and we're working through that. So, but yeah, I'd be happy to meet. I drive the town weekly, and I see it. I've done it, so I know it's an issue, and it's tough. Yeah, Brett, go ahead.
The thing too is, even though some people clean up the stuff around their houses, they get the letters, they don't just go take them to where they're supposed to go. I can vouch, we
Right.
clean Country Club Road every day,
Yeah.
and we pick up mattresses, we pick up couches, we pick up everything.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's part of our job, that's what we sign up to do. But what this is gonna do is if we keep sending letters, they're gonna comply, but it's just gonna get dumped somewhere else. You know what I mean? So I mean,
Well-
we just, no matter what you do, every department is trying to stay up on top of it. The problem is people in general.
And the system. I mean, we put administrative adjudication in back in, 2007 or 8. And it has helped. However, you know, if folks don't choose to pay the fine, then, or they argue, it'll never get kicked to circuit court, that's where the teeth is. The circuit court, over at the county. I mean, Judge Amy Jackson, our city judge, for that hearing officer, she does the best she can with the help of Assistant City Attorney Tom Veith, and they've had success, but they've gotten a lot more on their plate just outside of property maintenance. Now on her plate is truancy. There's a number of the different items that she didn't tackle when we first, it was just we're putting this in place because of property maintenance, and now we've added on ordinance violations, and she's dealing with that. So it's you know, so a lot of times people will take it and run with it, but yeah, I think there's some room to streamline some things between departments for sure, but maybe we can collectively do something, put a little more teeth in, and trigger some mechanisms where if they don't pay the fine, you know, things, water or whatever. But there again, it's hard to find folks when they don't have any money. And I see that every day in this job. I mean, I see them carry a cell phone that's worth $600, but they don't want to pay their water bill. But you can't, there's such a balancing act there. And I know times are tough for certain folks, but we do have some good organizations in town that can help those in real need pay a bill. But it's just, things have changed over the years. I mean, it's just kind of, I don't want to get too philosophical, but society has changed since I was growing up, and there's different priorities, so to speak. So I'll just leave it at that, so we can get out of here.
Can I?
Yeah.
So, to everyone's point tonight, and for those of you who are passionate about volunteerism, we did meet last week for the Community Improvement Initiative, and we're gonna be meeting the fourth Saturday of every month. I will email all the council so that you will be in the loop. Hopefully, I'm going to get that out in the next day or two. So that's going to be happening once a month, the fourth Saturday for 2.5 hours. So that's exciting. And the other thing, we have quite a few groups that have reached out that do want to help pick up litter on city streets from the sidewalks to the curbs. So that's going to be starting this weekend. This Saturday will be our first group going out who's going to be collecting trash from our streets. So if anybody has a group, or if their kids are in a group, or your church would like to help us do that, I'll supply the litter grabbers. We've already had Reynolds reach out, thanks to Kent, and we're going to have trash bags. So I'll have everything you need. I just need the groups to come forward, and I create the maps and the locations of where walkers will be, and I'll coordinate with the police department to also let them know what's going on as well. So there's a little bit of help.
You said
Yeah.
there was a community meeting the fourth Saturday, but you didn't say what time or where.
Well, we haven't, we're still we have a location identified, but we are still working on getting permissions from the property owners before we come on. So if you're interested, I'd be happy to take your email address down. It will be 9 to 11:30 on the fourth Saturday. And if you're on my email distribution list, then I'll notify everyone on the list of where we'll be meeting and what supplies we may or may not need for the particular tasks at hand. Most of it's going to be labor intensive. We'll be removing trash and debris from properties that give us permission to come on. And then there'll be more of a beautification team that will come on and help us remove overgrown brush and do some raking and maybe some sweeping, just kind of lift up some properties. And not all of these properties are necessarily people who, they might be people who've been sick with different illnesses or have been just kind of given the the property. So, and they don't know how to get rid of things on their property. So that's what we're working with the inspections department on, and Brian Nyberg, to go out and just try to give folks a hand up. So, but you can see me after the meeting if I can take your email. Thank you.
Yeah, Kent?
Do you have weekly meetings with the department heads, or how often do do they ever meet as a whole where, obviously, some of them are talking together because they're gonna share a truck and somebody came up with that agreement?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big meeting fan of getting them all together, no. I mean, I talk to them daily, individually, but I'm not, as far as getting together, all of us in a room, not too often.
Would that be a good idea, maybe to do a monthly or a quarterly,
That's my determination, and
everybody get together and talk about what their needs are?
I know they talk amongst themselves,
We
I know.
try, if another department needs help, we're always in it together. If
Okay.
one guy's got something or some gal's got something that one of us needs, we try to work together quite a bit. And we've talked about having, sporadic meetings once in a while, especially to address certain things that are coming up.
I mean, would it be beneficial for you guys to have a monthly or a quarterly meeting even?
We probably could, but everybody's schedule's a little bit different, so I mean, it's just a matter of picking out a day.
Yeah.
My busy season might not be his, you know what I mean?
No, I understand that. I just didn't know if it would be beneficial for you guys to actually physically meet and look each other in the eye, and all of you be there for the same conversation.
Sure.
Just,
We've talked about it before.
just a thought.
Okay. Any other new business? No? Oh, any public comment again? Okay, I would ask for a motion to adjourn. Alderman Henry, second by Alderman Large Old Nettle. We are adjourned.